Well, we're joined now by Rabbi Zalman Lewis, a cousin of Rabbi Eli Schlanger, who was killed in the attack. Good evening to you. First of all, my condolences. Thank you very much for speaking to us at this time. How did you first hear about the attack?
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to share some positive message. In my reaction, I was in synagogue this morning in Hove, and at the end of the service, I turned on my phone and I saw messages to ask to pray for people who had been victims of a terrorist attack in Sydney. And my cousin Eli had a very distinct Jewish name, his first name and his second name. And we realized right away that he was probably among the victims. So that's when I first heard about it. It wasn't until I got home from synagogue shortly after 10 a.m. that I found out the level of devastation and what had actually happened to him and to the community there.
And what were your first thoughts?
My first reaction for the first few seconds was deep pain and confusion and anxiety, as anyone else would. But very quickly, I stopped myself. I said, I can't be defined by these overwhelming negative thoughts. I need to think positively. I need to think in a positive way. How would Eli react? And I know that Eli would have reacted in a positive way. Eli was an incredibly vivacious, energetic, positive guy who would do anything to help another person. Spent his time, in addition to working in the Jewish Community Center in Sydney that he worked at and synagogue. He had dedicated his life to helping people, the elderly, inmates in prison. He really was an amazing, amazing person who loved life and loved helping people. And I knew that that's the way I have to respond, with a positive message of hope and light and positivity.
I mean, he was a public figure, a rabbi, but tell us about the cousin that he was to you.
So he's a few years younger than me. Grew up in London. They moved when he was fairly young. They moved from London to New York. He must have been 5 or 6 when they moved to New York. So I only got to see him occasionally. The last time I interacted with him was when his newborn son was born in October, 2 months ago, and I wished him congratulations. I wished him Mazel Tov, and he replied thanking me for the message. So we didn't see each other very often, but when we did, he was such a warm character. There was always a warm hug and a real positive energy, a real amazing person. My heart goes out to my aunt and uncle, to his parents and his siblings and their families. It's a tough day.
Yes, I can completely understand. You mentioned a couple of times his positivity and suggested that he would want you to be positive at this time. How are you going to display that?
I must say, when I got home from synagogue this morning, I really focused myself on and anchored myself. I said, I cannot sit down on the couch and be overwhelmed by grief. Tonight is Hanukkah. Hanukkah is about generating positivity, light, goodness, happiness, and kindness in the world. The world is a good place. There is some evil, there is some darkness, but overwhelmingly there is goodness in the world, and overwhelmingly there are good people in the world. And I came home and I said to myself, I need to create a positive energy for myself, for my family, for my community. I can't speak for the Jews of Sydney. I can't imagine what they're processing. But I know for me and for anyone who wants to hear my voice here in Britain, here in the UK, my response is, let's do good things. Call up someone who's lonely, give some more charity, be a bit more vivacious in being a positive energy in loving memory of Eli Schlanger. And I think that's the best message that we can send to his widow. I can't believe I'm saying that. To his widow and kids and family. Just do good things. The world is a beautiful place. We can light candles of goodness and hope and positivity and make the world a better place. We really can. We should not become overwhelmed with despair. We need to be more confident in who we are. As my message to the Jewish community in the UK is, go to a public Hanukkah lighting. celebrate publicly with joy and with happiness. And my message to the wider community is put a charity box in your kitchen and put a coin in the charity box every day. Do good things. Let's prove that this world is a good place. That's what Ellie would be saying if he was here today.
That positivity is wonderful that you're able to draw on it at this time of grief. What would you say to those who are fearful, particularly within the Jewish community, because of the circumstances of what has happened? What would you say to them about their fear?
I think that the hate that we're facing is irrational. And I think the only way we can respond to irrational hate is to engage in irrational love, in irrational good. And the only way we can do that is to be more confident. We're not going to be able to communicate a positivity bias, a irrational goodness message if we hide in our homes. We need to go out proudly and confidently and boldly declaring that we have a positive message for the world and inspire anyone who wants to listen to do good things to make the world a better place. That has to be our response.
Rabbi Zalman Lewis, thank you very much for speaking to us at this time of great personal grief and loss. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time and this opportunity.
Well, let's just show